was on the call of yesterday's Liberty Fever game and joins us now on SportsCenter alongside her dogs in the background. Apparently, they want to be in the interview as well. 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists for Caitlin Clark. This is after missing 5 games with a quad. What stood out most about Caitlin's performance yesterday?
What stood out most to me, Amina, was that Caitlin Clark, even being out for those 3 weeks, did something on the basketball court that I've never seen a player do in the WNBA, and that was that stretch that you were just talking about, that 38-second stretch where she came down and hit not just 3 threes, but 3 bomb threes.
Rebecca Lobo just lit a match and tossed it straight into the heart of the WNBA discourse. After the Liberty game, she didn't hold back, dropping a truth bomb that rattled more than just the scoreboard. Lobo questioned the Caitlin Clark frenzy with the kind of sharp commentary that made fans pause mid-celebration. Was it fair critique? Or a jab dipped in jealousy? Either way, it sent shockwaves through the league. Is this the start of a bigger rift? The WNBA's not just serving hoops, it's dishing drama hotter than a reunion special. Let's unpack this basketball-sized bombshell because it's getting messy fast.
Caitlin Clark. The thing that impresses me most about her is her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on. She went off last night for 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 7 3-pointers. Now, you guys, she had been out for over 2 weeks with a quad injury, and some were wondering if she was going to have minutes restrictions, how much she was going to be playing, if she was going to be up to full speed, and she clearly was. There was a point during the game where she had 3 3-pointers in 38 seconds, and these weren't just regular old 3-pointers. These were her signature logo threes from feet behind the 3.
Now, all of a sudden, ESPN wants front-row seats to the Caitlin Clark show. After ignoring the previews, skipping the trailer, and pretending the movie wasn't even playing. But Clark didn't need their stamp of approval. She's been torching defenses, breaking records, and carrying the league's spotlight like it's part of her warm-up. And now that the hype is undeniable, the same media that called her just a rookie is out here rewriting history. Acting like they saw it coming. Please, Clark's been cooking and ESPN just showed up with an empty plate, hoping for leftovers. Too late, the buffet's already over.
But today, we saw Caitlin have an unbelievable half. And a decent second half, in my opinion. Look, 6 assists. 6 assists, again, did turn the ball over a little bit, which wasn't the greatest half, but 7.6 assists, 4 boards is not a bad half. Like, that's 14-12 she was on for that for the whole time. That's actually that's not bad at all, to be honest. That's really not bad.
It took Caitlin Clark raining down logo threes, dishing no-look assists, and hauling the Indiana Fever like she's Frodo hiking through Mordor with a rolled ankle, before ESPN even glanced in her direction. And when they finally did, it was a reluctant 20-second clip, wedged between a cornhole championship recap and a LeBron hairline debate. You could feel the tension in the studio, like they knew they had to acknowledge her greatness but were still nursing the hangover from months of acting like she didn't exist. Congrats, ESPN. You're officially late to your own party.
The delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah. And she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
Now, all of a sudden, ESPN is acting shocked that Caitlin Clark is this good. Shocked. Like she didn't average 40 points a night in college while being double-teamed, triple-teamed, and stalked by mascots in the tunnel. But now that her jersey is outselling half the NBA, the same media outlets that treated her like a footnote are scrambling to act like they were on board from day one. ESPN used to show her highlights like they were forced to sit through a boring family slideshow. Now, they're replaying her no-look passes like it's the Zapruder film. Did you see that spin pass? Yeah, we've been seeing it. Clark didn't just arrive. She's rewriting every stale script ESPN clung to.
In a that first quarter where the New York Liberty had an 11-point lead, and Indiana needed her to come out and do that to kind of get back into the game. Her passing was on point, her scoring. Steph White took her out a little bit more, gave her a little bit more rest than we're accustomed to seeing from Caitlin Clark. She still played 30 minutes in the game, but that she had no rust, had a performance like that, and you could see the joy on her face, especially in that interaction you saw with Breanna Stewart about how happy she was to be back on the floor.
Yeah, missed those 5 games with a quad injury, but definitely looked like she did not miss a step at all. Clark tied her career high for 3-pointers with 7.
ESPN? They're out here scrambling to revise their notes, like a teacher who suddenly realizes they've been grading the wrong student's test all semester. The most amusing part? The dramatic tone shift. One week, it's Caitlin is adjusting to the WNBA speed, and the next, it's Caitlin Clark is the future of basketball. Was that future uncertain when she casually shattered NCAA records collecting dust? Or when she drew more viewers than an NBA playoff game just by stepping on the court? They went from let's wait and see to she's the savior of the sport, faster than Angel Reese can roll her eyes. And the visuals? ESPN went from showing grainy, low-res highlights of Clark like they were recorded on a microwave, to now blessing her plays with cinematic replays, slow-motion breakdowns, and analysis segments that look like they were edited by Marvel Studios. Suddenly, it's Clark Vision 24/7, detailed dissections of her footwork, passing lanes, even her post-game hair bun, as if it's a national security briefing. One more game like that, and they'll be broadcasting her grocery runs in 4K. It's clear ESPN finally realized that charisma, raw talent, and clutch gene combined are worth more than endless hot takes and clickbait segments. They're now going all in. Commentators gushing like middle schoolers at a boy band concert. Analysts backtracking on every lukewarm take about her being overhyped. And segments titled, How Clark Changed the Game, as if it didn't take 27 games and a global petition to figure that out. It's a complete turnaround, and honestly, it's hard to tell if it's genuine admiration or just good branding. Either way, Caitlin Clark has ESPN's full attention now, and she's not about to let go.
Back as fans and go, you know, this is wonderful. This is great. We get to watch. We have bleacher seats here, and we get to adore these athletes. Look at Caitlin Clark, how she's kept just taken over the country, and for that matter, maybe the world, and how she's encouraged so many young girls now to participate in sports, whether it's basketball or soccer or volleyball. My dad used to always say, the greatest thing about sports is that you learn so much about real life. You learn how to be unselfish. You learn how to be dedicated. You learn how to work hard. You learn how to win. And then you learn how to pick yourself up off the ground when you lose. And that's what life is all about. And so I just have so much respect for so many of these athletes that come along now. And as a fan, I just love it.
They've even started bringing on guests just to gush over Caitlin, asking, tell us how amazing Caitlin is, as if it's a therapy session for doubters who missed the train. And if anyone dares challenge the narrative now, they shoot side eyes like someone clapped when a plane landed. In the church of ESPN, Caitlin Clark is now a saint. Saint 3 Point of Iowa. While they are busy building altars and carving her name into the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball, Caitlin is just out there hooping like it's any other Tuesday. She's not asking for praise. She's demanding it with every shot she takes. The fans? They knew long before ESPN caught on. They had the tickets, the merch, and the raw passion from Game 1. They've been screaming her name while the big networks were still stumbling over how to pronounce Iowa without yawning. Now that her highlights are blowing up feeds, ESPN is treating them like Bitcoin, posting, reposting, remixing, and trying to monetize every clip like they're trying to pay off some guilt. They act like they've been rooting for her all along, like those guys who say they knew Bitcoin was a good investment after it hit 60K, but we see through the act. The real fans knew from the start. Caitlin Clark is here to stay.
For Caitlin Clark, this is her first game back in 4 or 5 games after dealing with the quad injury. And she did not disappoint. Came out with 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, almost a triple-double. But 7 3-pointers, y'all. And she was hitting them from 40 feet. Like, she was literally shooting from anywhere, and it was cashing out. In fact, at one point in time, she hit a ridiculous one that Stewie just had to throw her hands up and they laughed all the way back down the floor because even she knew it was ridiculous.
And the irony? The more ESPN tries to own the narrative, the more obvious it is that they never led the charge. They're just desperately trying to catch up to the momentum Clark created all by herself. She didn't need ESPN to become a sensation. ESPN needed her to stay relevant in the WNBA conversation, especially when every Clark game turned into a trending topic while their other coverage was pulling in views that could be counted on a parking meter. It's gotten so wild, even their social media accounts are in full Clark PR mode. A simple crossover from her now gets a 3-post carousel, a hype video, and a top comment that reads, "She's her." Oh, now she's her? Interesting. Because 2 weeks ago, the same accounts were posting G League dunks with more enthusiasm than her 19 assists. And now the narrative's being rewritten. The tone is different, the graphics are glossier. Even the lower thirds say things like record-breaking rookie instead of work in progress. ESPN's finally speaking the language fans have been shouting all season. The energy went from cautious optimism to Caitlin Clark, the messiah of the mid-range. They're scheduling her games for primetime slots now. Gone are the random Tuesday 11 a.m. tip-offs when most people are brushing their teeth.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty their first loss of the season. If there was any question about how Caitlin Clark was going to perform after 19 days away with the quad injury, she answered them in the first half when she had a 38-second stretch where she hit 3 deep threes. She looked everything that we've come accustomed to watching from Caitlin Clark, whether it was scoring herself. She finished with 32 points on the day, 9 assists, a near triple-double with 8 rebounds as well. The Indiana Fever looking once again like a team that can contend for a championship, scoring 102 points against a very, very good New York Liberty team.
Meanwhile, every former player on air is suddenly jumping on the "we always believed" bandwagon. They're lining up to claim they saw this coming, like fortune tellers trying to cash in on their predictions. But where were they when she was getting fouled into the third row with no whistle and no respect? Where were they when she was dropping double-doubles and all they could say was, well, it's still early. Now it's nothing but flowers, and Clark's got a garden full of praise she didn't ask for but absolutely earned through sheer talent and grit. But the real kicker? Even now, when she's finally getting the attention she deserves, it's still wrapped in that ESPN spin, like they discovered her. Like Clark was chilling in a cave somewhere until ESPN descended from Mount Content and brought her into the spotlight. No, Clark is the light. She's been illuminating the court from day one, lighting up the game with her fearless style and unmatched skill. They just finally opened their eyes, squinting into the brilliance like vampires caught at sunrise. So, as ESPN tries to act like this was all part of some master plan, fans everywhere are sipping tea, laughing, and watching Caitlin drop another 30-point performance with the casual disdain of someone proving a point. Every 3 she hits now is a subtle "I told you so," and every no-look pass is a reminder that greatness doesn't wait for permission. It arrives uninvited, steals the show, and leaves everyone wishing they'd seen it coming from the start.
You gotta put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended by that. And there's going to be girls that think she's got to earn it and she doesn't deserve this early. She's handled it great. I think she's performed last year. She's performing again this year. I think she's the rightful face of
ESPN might be late to the party, but Caitlin Clark is the party itself. And now that they're finally here, they better bring snacks, because she's not slowing down. She's just getting started. This time, they have no choice but to watch her dominate. Just when you thought the chaos had peaked, Rebecca Lobo, yes, the same calm, poised ESPN analyst known for her smooth commentary, went full fan mode. This isn't your average praise. Lobo was practically throwing roses at Clark's feet like she's the WNBA version of Beyoncé, hitting a buzzer beater while rocking heels and sunglasses. Lobo didn't just acknowledge Clark, she essentially knighted her on national TV. And let's be honest, that's wild coming from Lobo, who's rarely known for hyperbole. Or hype. If Rebecca says she's never seen a WNBA player do what Clark just did, you better sit up and listen. Because that's the WNBA equivalent of Morgan Freeman vouching for your talent. It's a rare moment, one that cements Clark's status as a game changer. And the world is finally starting to realize just how special she truly is.
Caitlin Clark is undefeated at home at Gainbridge Fieldhouse when she's there cheering on the Indiana Pacers and when the Pacers are in the playoffs. I'm just saying that the Caitlin Clark effect is real, because when she's at Gainbridge and the Pacers are playing in the playoffs, they're winning. They are officially 8-0 in the playoffs when Caitlin Clark shows up to cheer them on. And the way that these full circle moments just keep coming round and round is nothing short of amazing.
And the delivery? Oh, Lobo made it count. No screaming, no drama, just pure awe dripping from every word like a respectful mic drop. It's like someone hit a switch in her brain that unlocked all the superlatives she's been saving since the league started. Suddenly, the tone shifted from rookie watch to basketball prophecy fulfilled. And honestly, it felt like a coronation. Because let's face it, when someone like Lobo, who played the game, lived the grind, wore the bruises, and built the league brick by brick, says she's never seen anything like this, it's not just a compliment. It's a declaration. It's a flashing neon sign that Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's bending laws of basketball physics. She's turning logic into a spectator sport. Rebecca Lobo has watched decades of talent. She's analyzed the monsters of the paint, the assassins of the arc, the silent killers who let their games do the screaming. She's broken down more footage than a CIA operative. So for her to essentially say, this is different. You know we're not just in the deep end, we're in uncharted waters.
Clark's return, the headline, the Rookie of the Year out since May 26th. What do you expect in her first game back?
Well, first of all, I'm just as excited as everybody else to see her back on the basketball court. She's the most fun player to watch in all of women's basketball. I'm most eager to see her reconnect with Aaliyah Boston. The two players had been playing so well throughout the course of this season. In particular, in that game, Boston had a season-high 27 points, 13 boards in their two-man game. The pick and roll, the way Aaliyah Boston was slipping those screens and Caitlin was able to deliver to her, they were just on another level. Their connection was terrific. I would expect that they'll be able to pick that up pretty quickly in their game against New York again today.
It's not just the scoring, although let's be honest, Clark dropping 30 like it's casual brunch is already enough to spin heads. It's how she's doing it. Logo threes off the dribble with a defender hanging on her like a backpack. And Lobo wasn't even subtle about it. She didn't pepper it with qualifiers or soft disclaimers. There was no for a rookie or in this era or under these conditions. Nope. She laid it bare. Caitlin's doing things that are just flat out unprecedented. Even the delivery had that stunned auntie energy. Like Lobo was watching her niece absolutely cook everyone at Thanksgiving pickup and was trying to keep it professional, but couldn't hold in the pride. It wasn't just respect, it was reverence. A nod that said, "We built this league for you to show up and set it on fire." And while some folks are still trying to gaslight the moment like it's just another good stretch, Rebecca didn't play that game. She didn't hesitate. She didn't hedge. She didn't do that media shuffle where people act cool until the highlight goes viral. She called it now, in real time, like a seasoned broadcaster who knows when history's happening in front of her and has the guts to say it. You could see it even in her body language, that rare combo of disbelief and total clarity, like someone who just saw a UFO but has the receipts. She wasn't trying to trend, she wasn't fishing for viral clips, she was just reacting with that raw, unfiltered truth. It was refreshing. It was real.
I know she just got hurt, like a couple of weeks ago, like she was out. But she came back today and she was wilding. This picture is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even realize her face. I just saved the picture from Twitter, but she's oh. For someone in their second year and she's doing what she's doing is actually like mind-blowing to me when you put in perspective how kind of young the WNBA is. But shout out to her, yo. My WNBA people, where do you guys think the Fever go this season? Are they going all the way to the finals? Do they even make the playoffs? But is Caitlin Clark the MVP?
And that put every dusty take in the ESPN vault on notice. Because when Rebecca Lobo breaks character, stepping out of her usual measured analyst role to basically ask, "Are y'all seeing this?" you know something seismic is unfolding. It's like the basketball universe aligning for a rare solar eclipse, a once-in-a-generation event. Lobo made it clear, Clark isn't just rewriting rookie expectations, she's tearing up the entire WNBA script and sketching her own masterpiece in bold, permanent ink. What makes this moment even sweeter? Lobo didn't say it to boost Clark against anyone else. She didn't need to. The respect was crystal clear, a pure, unfiltered acknowledgement of true greatness. No comparisons, no inflated hype, just genuine admiration from one legend to another. It was a quiet, powerful moment of recognition, free from spin or performative praise. Meanwhile, the rest of the media is scrambling to catch up, rushing to process what they just saw. Rebecca already called it. She saw the brilliance firsthand. Everyone else is still fumbling with their cue cards, wondering when it became acceptable to praise Clark without facing backlash. But Lobo didn't need permission. She saw the artistry, the dominance, the absurd court IQ, and she called it out plainly. This is something we've never seen before, and with every game, Clark continues to prove her point. Her assists are like optical illusions, her shot selection is outright disrespectful, and her poise under pressure is comparable to a surgeon performing open heart surgery while solving a Rubik's Cube with her toes. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's rewriting it.
During that half, all they were talking about was, late in the game, Caitlin Clark had 25 in the first half. She would hit 6 threes. I think it was up there. I think it was one of the most in a half in WNBA history. And Natasha Howard, Caitlin Clark is wide open, and Natasha Howard looks at her and chooses her own number. And by the way, Natasha Howard in the for the entire game was minus 15. She was 1 of 4 from the field, albeit she did score in that possession. It's the only possession she scored on the entire game. She looked off Caitlin, and Caitlin just threw her arms up. Is it what you want to see from a player? Of course not. But at the end of the day, it happens.
And Rebecca's no longer sitting quietly in the corner. She's front row, popcorn in hand, cheering with sharp analytical insight. These are the moments that will age like fine wine in the history books. That one line, "I've never seen a WNBA player do something like this," becomes etched into highlight reels, a rallying cry, maybe even a t-shirt slogan or an anthem. When a legend like Lobo puts her legacy behind a rising star, the world can't ignore it. It's poetic, really. A pioneer of the game validating the prodigy right before our eyes. Past and present collide in a flash of brilliance, with no gimmicks or theatrics, just pure basketball evolution. Rebecca saw the spark, and instead of guarding the gate, she swung it wide open. She didn't just show respect for Caitlin Clark, she welcomed her with a standing ovation. And if you thought Clark needed that validation to keep soaring, think again. She was already flying high. Rebecca simply confirmed what many are starting to realize. We're witnessing a new species of player take over the court. Raw, unfiltered, and utterly unforgettable. It's a moment that's bound to be remembered. A defining chapter in basketball history. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.